Welcome to Brain Vision.
So this question has a lot of parts to it. Let's just go through it step by step. So we start off knowing the total cost and the marginal cost and the demand, and we know there's 9 firms. So from this, we can ascertain the fixed cost, the variable cost, and the average total cost. How do we do that? Well, first, if we just stop and look at our total cost equation here, we see there's a component, 50, that has nothing to do with the quantity. That's going to be our fixed cost. And sure enough, fixed cost equals 50. There's a second component here that is dependent upon the quantity, and therefore that's going to be our variable cost. Our formula for average total cost is really simple. It's just the total cost divided by Q. So that's going to be 50 plus 1/2 Q squared all over Q. And we can simplify that to this, 50 over Q plus Q over 2. Okay, so that's just the average total cost, just written a different way. All right, for the next part, if you actually go from quantity of 5 through quantity of 15, and you plug those numbers for Q into the average total cost and the marginal cost equations, you're going to get 2 lines that look something like this. Okay, so the average total cost cuts through the marginal cost at the minimum of the average total cost, right? That's part of the definition of those 2 lines. So we can already tell that in the long run, the equilibrium is going to be here. Okay, in the long run, equilibrium is going to have a price of 10, and each firm is going to produce 10 units. Okay, so what is the actual firm supply curve? Well, it turns out that because marginal cost, right, just equals Q, and we always produce when marginal revenue equals marginal cost, turns out that the supply of each firm is just going to be equal to the price because marginal revenue is equal to the price. All right, so for parts D and E, we know that P is going to be Q over 9 because there's 9 firms. And if we just plug these numbers into our demand equation, we can therefore find that the equilibrium price for part E is going to be 12, and the equilibrium quantity is going to be 108. And again, this is just using the demand equation that we were given, which is QD equals 120 minus P. Okay, so utilizing this and this piece here, we can get the price and quantity in equilibrium. Okay, so each firm is going to produce 12 units. Again, we know because the price is 12 and marginal revenue equals marginal cost. In this case, marginal revenue is just the price, marginal cost is just the quantity. Bam, there's our answer. How do we find the profit for each firm? Profit is just total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue is the price times the quantity, so 12 times 12. Total cost, we just use our equation that we came up with earlier, and we plug in 144 because that's 12 squared. We subtract total cost from total revenue, and we get 22. The other piece that we need for this part is that because the price is greater than where ATC is at its minimum, we know that there's profit to be made by firms that enter the market, okay? So firms are going to enter the marketplace. So in the long run, what's going to happen? Well, in the long run, the price is going to fall to the minimum of the average total cost curve, and that's 10. So the price in the long run is going to be 10, and the equilibrium quantity for the whole market, that's this guy right here, that's going to be 110. And again, we derive that from the demand function that we have earlier. Okay, and we know that when a firm faces a price of 10, it will produce a quantity of 10. So every firm is going to produce 10, and if the total quantity is 110, 110 divided by 10 is 11, and that's how we get 11 firms in the market.